Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for 3 Blind Men and an Elephant, and today we announced the winner of our first ever photo challenge, street photography. But before I do, I want to thank B&H once again for sponsoring the challenge, and remind you that we've got a photo walk coming up October 6th in New York City. Details are in the show notes section down below this video. Now, the takeaway from this experiment is, it was great. Let's begin with a recap. In 1 week, we received almost 200 entries from around the world. I wish there were an easy way to suck up and tabulate all the data you shared in your notes from them, because there just wasn't enough time to manually capture the full richness of what we saw and learned. We saw black and white and color, day and night, snapped, posed, stolen, crafted, decisive, poignant, funny, sly, earnest, vibrant, sublime, harrowing, mundane, rich, poor, impersonal, and very personal. We received entries from, and this is just a small sampling, really, Algeria, Canada, the Czech Republic, China, France, Germany, Greece, India, Mexico, the Netherlands, the Philippines, Portugal, Romania, Switzerland, and of course, the United States, east to west, north to south, including but not limited to California, Florida, Kentucky, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Nevada, New York, New Mexico, and more. It reminds me, in its very modest way, of this guy, The Family of Man, an exhibition put on by the Museum of Modern Art in 1955, curated by Edward Steichen. Please do check it out. Some of us in this world could use a little reminding that we're all in this together. The images for the competition were captured using all kinds of cameras: Nikon, Canon, Fuji, Panasonic, Ricoh film camera, Sony, Pentax, full frame, APS-C, micro four thirds, as I said, film. And as with everything I just mentioned, this was just a sample of what was used. We learned that some of you enjoy using words to describe what you do and why. Most of you, however, have a certain kinship with Cartier-Bresson because you don't. We learned other things too. It turns out Instagram is brilliant for this kind of challenge because, just like a contact sheet really, we found ourselves scanning rapidly through to find things that grabbed us. It allowed exceptional composition, color, tonality, and interestingly enough, humor to stand out. If we saw something we liked, we could zoom in, a little bit anyway, I wish the functionality were better, to check technical details like focus, and then decide how much it mattered anyway. Though, remember, these are all relatively low-resolution shots by the time we see them on Instagram. The interesting question is, did this matter? No, it did not. Let's get into it. In this case, we felt it was a very strong image, captured at just the right time with just the right geometry. And subject matter, a little Mad Men, maybe a little Russian Cold War, depending on your point of view. At first, we didn't mind that he was not sharp, until we did. The difference between this shot and, let's call it, the ideal version of this shot, for us, again, you may feel differently, is our sense that it would have been better if there were motion blur, or had he been tack sharp and frozen. Instead, we have this slightly in-between result where it looks like the focus plane was the window with a depth of field too shallow to get him. It did make it into the finals, but ultimately we thought there were better images. This one just tickled my funny bone, but there were enough distractions in the image, and we couldn't figure out how to crop it so that it would be better, as opposed to compromised in a different way. It didn't make the cut. Sometimes we'd see an image that was technically proficient, clearly done by someone who knows his or her stuff, that we just didn't connect with. It didn't make the cut either. Every now and again, we'd come across an image that hit us, and we kept returning to it, like this one. It made the finals. This one made the semifinals. Reminded me of nothing so much as The Great Gatsby and the billboard eyes of Dr. T.J. Eckelberg. This one is emotionally, artistically, and culturally rich, ironic, and sad. It made the semis. We loved the context for this photograph, and we were glad to see it, but it didn't make the cut. We came back to this image a number of times. Great color, composition, perspective. But in the end, we didn't feel it was about street photography as we understand it. Once more, though, reasonable people can disagree. This caught our attention at first, but there were other images we enjoyed more. Same here. In the end, and very quickly, we got down to the final 7. As I keep saying, this is a subjective thing, and one's subjective sense of a piece of work can be as variable as the weather or the state of your stomach. Indigestion does strange things to your appreciation of art. You already know how we got to this one. You already know about this one too. It was a contender for the top spot. This one just worked for us. No analysis, no nothing. Made it into the finals. This image is subtle, architectural. In classic fashion, the photographer found his shot, then waited patiently for the right moment to be created. This was another contender for the top spot. Claudia and I differed a bit on this one. I loved the lighting, the color, and how it was set up. The photographer patiently waiting, just as in the last image. I saw a bit of fan-ho in it. Claudia didn't respond the same way. Ultimately, the middle third or quarter of the image behind and above the cyclist kept it from real contention for top honors. We kept coming back to this one too. It took me straight to the best of street photography of mid-20th century, so much so that I'm still asking myself, even after doing a quick Google image search, if I have seen it before. But in any case, the only thing that kept it from the top spot, the only thing that kept it from its ideal version of itself was the nagging feeling we had that it would have gone from lovely to superb if the photographer had planted directly across from the question marks rather than at an angle. We really like this photographer. And then there was this. Up close, personal, a stolen moment, an image on the run. Yes, decisive in its timing, unless it was all staged, but I'm not going there. For Claudia and for me, it was instant. This is the one. This is our winner of the Rugged Legion 45 messenger bag from B&H. So congratulations. We'll be messaging you for details shortly. But once again, I think we all win here, whether by creating the work and putting it out there, actually showing up, or taking the time to view it, react to it, become the tiniest bit richer for it, and remembering that the value or worth of art is always a function of the relationship between the work and the person viewing it, engaging with it, consuming it. For which I can only say, on behalf of Claudia and myself, thank you for sharing your work and participating in this challenge with us. If you like what you've seen here today, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, join the conversation below. You guys continue to be just incredible, knowledgeable, inspiring, funny. I mean, you're a joy, truly. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Grab one or both of our new Hold That Thought t-shirts you wanted us to put up at our new 3BMEPthreadless.com store. Support our work by using our affiliate links down below in the show notes, dropping us coffee money via our PayPal link down below in the show notes, or even better than that, we invite you to become a patron of our work over at Patreon. Link down below. We've created our Patreon page because we are stoked to bring you not only gear reviews, but with our What Were You Thinking and Good World Gone Bad series, historical, educational, artistic morsels, and longer form conversations, not interviews, with world-class photographers, curators, gallery owners, keepers of the legacy, folks like Elliot Irwitt, Anya Sear, Mark Lubell, Ethelene Staley, and friends like Brian Smith, Paul Giroux, Nino Rakicevic, and more. We'd really like you to join us to deliver this kind of content regularly. Your support on Patreon will really help us ramp it up. In which case, as always, we thank you for it. That's it. For Three Blind Men and an Elephant, I'm Hugh Brownstone. See you next time.